Hi, my name is Ryan Kohler, CEO of ApplicantPro with today's hiring tip. So today we're going to talk about an applicant pool that's kind of staring you right in the face. In fact, you might trip over them if you're not careful. And it's called your internal applicants pool or your employees. I think a lot of times that we take for granted our own employees and moving them up in the company. Now, certainly you might say, oh, of course we hire from within and we promote from within and blah, 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 blah. But just saying you do that is different than proactively doing it. I find a lot of times that HR professionals feel like there's not a lot that they can do to drive the outcome. They figure, well, if an employee wants to apply, they'll apply. If an employee wants to hear about the job, they'll find it. But the simple fact of the matter is the difference between being average and extraordinary isn't the source you use to hire, it's how proactive you are at driving the end result. It's about being proactive. And so a couple big issues. When we talk about hiring people, we talk about the potential for having turnover. And when you look at the reasons why job seekers turn over, it isn't always that they're not good at the job. In fact, a lot of times turnover isn't or has nothing to do with skills or education or knowledge. It normally has to do with culture fit, values, and dependability. Those three things are extremely important for an employee to be good, to provide value to the company, and extremely difficult to judge on a resume and in an interview. The great thing about internal applicants is we know those three things. They may not have the right skills, they may not have the right education or the right knowledge to do the job, they may not have experience doing it before, but we know whether they're a culture fit, we know whether they share our values, and we know whether they're consistent and dependable. Three of the most important things when it comes to having a great employee. So the internal steps, how you can drive this process forward, the number one is communicate. If you want to hire from within, you're going to have to communicate better with the job seekers, therefore your employees. Don't just take for granted that they know you're hiring. Make sure that they know that you're giving them a leg up, that you're letting them apply first before everybody else, or that you're considering them first. Number two, shorten the application. You shouldn't be asking them to go through the same process that an external job seeker goes through. Shorten it up, ask just the minimal information, give them the ability to jump into the pool and throw their hat in the ring saying they're interested in the job. Number three, be willing to train them. Again, the most important thing for having a successful employee in most jobs isn't knowing how to do the job. It's whether they fit your culture, your values, and are dependable and consistent at working hard and putting in the effort. When you know those things, it's much easier to train them on how to do the job. Let them put their toe in the water. Let them try it out for a few days. All the things that you struggle with hiring an outside person, you can get around with an inside person. Let them get around that team. Let them get around the job. See how they act. See how they work. Maybe give them a little project that's similar to it. And the final thing, define out the career paths. Look for the potential jobs that prepare somebody for their job in the future. And I like to do the reverse of that. Take your current employees doing a job and look at where they came from. Look at the jobs they had before they came into there and define those career paths, both for the employees so they can see how to move up, as well as for you to see where your talent is going to come from. Here at ApplicantPro, we focus on the fact that most of our hires come from support up into the organization. Our product team came from support, our sales team came from support, even some of our marketers were in support first as they moved up through the organization. Since we know that is the path, we then hire into support based on future jobs for them. Call this future talent, if you will, right? And so we're constantly watching that career path as we bring these employees in, even if we don't tell them that that's our future vision for them. We might hire them in support and try to convince them to become sales reps later. Anyway, great source for hiring, especially in this tight labor market. The people that you have and love, you need to hold on to them tightly. And what that means is giving them an opportunity to move up into the organization, especially because you know the most important things about them. You know they fit your culture, you know they share your values, and you know that they're dependable. The three most important things when it comes to having a great employee who will do a great job. I hope that this video finds you well, and good luck hiring.